Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Listening Mentor here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. My co-host, Caroline HEWARD, has the day off. Today, we're going to be talking about something from the very beginning of our conversations, because people have been reaching out to me and sharing that they have some additional questions when it comes to two specific areas. So today we're going to look at asking for permission, and then we're going to look at judgment and judging others. If you're joining us for the first time, this show is all about teaching us how to listen at an elevated level. Now, some of you I know believe that you are excellent listeners, and I'd like to put that to the test and see. I'd like to have you come on our show and see how well you're listening. And many other people have taken the Power of Listening course and are certified. They're graduates. And these are people that I really like to celebrate and appreciate, because they realize that many of them thought they were listening at a 9 or 10 level out of 10, and it turns out they were really listening at a 4 or 5 or even 6 level. So my goal here is to teach you elevated listening skills and to ask you to put aside your thoughts and judgments about what you're learning today and just come with an open heart. The topic we're discussing today, we've discussed before, but it warrants discussing again. It's called asking for permission. Now, someone reached out to me and said, doesn't that mean if I ask for permission that I'm actually weak and that I need somebody else's approval? No, it doesn't. If it's in a situation where you want someone to listen and listen fully and be completely present, then asking for permission is a show of respect. And I titled this episode, The Joy in Listening, because when we are heard by another, fully heard, what a gift it is. It is a true joy when you're the one providing the listening, fully present, without your devices, without providing solutions. You also get to celebrate that joy. This week was an opportunity. I had a conversation with someone. I was talking about something coming up, and the person cut me off and just told me what they thought I should do. And I kind of laughed to myself because I teach listening. So I actually was able to just take a deep breath and let them say what they had to say, because I didn't want to be disrespectful to them and interrupt them. But I thought to myself after the fact, I never asked for that person's opinion, but yet they felt they should provide a solution. They didn't ask for permission to give the solution, but they just gave it instead. So what did I take away from that? That person was in their ego. They were in their ego, whether they thought they were helping me, whether we think we can help someone by providing a solution. If they don't ask for the solution, please don't provide it, because all you're doing is probably cutting them off and they're not being heard, and this starts to snowball. So we're going to take a look at a role play, which I love doing here. And if you're joining us for the first time, I'm very big on role plays because we can't see things ourselves many times, but when we see someone else in the behavior, we can identify it. So I'm going to share two clips today. The first one, as I mentioned, is asking for permission. And these are actors. They have performed a scene that I directed them to perform. So please keep that in mind. If you know the people, it's not them in real life. This is them putting on a role play for the purposes of this show. Okay, here we go. Role play number one, ask for permission. We're going to watch it twice. So this first time, just take it in. We'll discuss it. and then we'll watch it again and see what you've learned.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe it? Can you believe I got the job? Christine. Hey, I got the job. Didn't I just tell you that I got... Remember when I auditioned last week? And when they were so amazed with me, and when they were like, hey, of course you're gonna get the job, and I got the job. Hey, will you listen to me? This is really important to me, okay? Hey, I'm just telling you that I got a really, really big job. I got my first huge engagement. I'm gonna play the main character. Hey.
Please.
This is important to me, okay?
I'm working.
Can you just stop for 1 minute? Because this is really, really important to me. This is a huge deal. This is an engagement for a year. Do you even care about me? Hey, remember when
I'm free in about half an hour.
But I want to tell you now. I'm excited right now.
Oh my God, really?
Fine. But you know when they called me,
Okay, now I can do it.
What?
You're so annoying.
So.
Okay, how about that role play? Have you ever been in that situation? Let's kind of take it apart, take a step back. So we have our first actress, and she is quite excited about something, right? This happens to us. We are so pumped up that something just happened. She got this big job and she wants to tell someone about it. So what does she do? She walks in to her boss, her friend, whomever it is in the role play, and she just launches into it. Hey, I'm so excited, this, that, and the other. Of course, she is excited. The other person is in the middle of something. That's Christine. And Christine is working. She's doing something. So to Christine, what she's doing is important. But how many times have you had this happen? Maybe you're Christine at the desk and somebody comes in to tell you something. You have a deadline. There's something that you want to do. In another case, you might be really excited about this great news. But at this moment, you have a deadline, or you just got some information yourself about your health or someone else. So this is why asking for permission is so important, because in the case of the role play we just saw, both people left that scenario feeling upset. And in real life, even though they were acting, they still felt upset because they weren't being heard, even though it was being directed. So can you imagine if it's just a role play, how that really feels in real life? Instead, had she asked for permission to share her good news, she could have received many different answers. Christine could have turned around and said, hey, I'm really excited for you, but right now I got whatever it is I'm doing. I can't be here for you, but give me 20 minutes and I promise. That might be very different. There are times where we don't care what the other person is doing. And that's what happened in this scenario also. Think about it. You have something truly amazing, mind-blowing, earth-shattering that you have to share. You got a new job. Let the entire world stop what it's doing so that you can come forward with your news. No, it doesn't work that way. Because what's exciting to you and important to you is not necessarily exciting or important to the other person in that moment. In another moment, it might be a completely different scenario. So I want you to think about asking for permission as a way to open a door for you to have an effective and joyous exchange with another person, instead of you being frustrated, them being annoyed. And it comes down to one thing: controlling our emotions. You got a new job. That is fantastic. It absolutely is. If it's fantastic in this minute, it's probably going to be fantastic an hour from now, a day from now, probably until you get into the job for a while. And then you start thinking to yourself, I don't know, is it that fantastic? Or maybe it is. I'm not sure. But the point is that at that very moment that you feel the need to just barge in on someone or pick up the phone or whatever it is you're doing, and you expect to get that immediate gratification, you most likely will be disappointed. We don't have to be disappointed if we set ourselves up to win. And that is by asking for permission. Think of a scenario in your own life. Maybe it happened recently. Maybe it happened a long time ago. You had something really spectacular that happened to you, and you barged in on someone, or you just launched into it in the middle of something, and you didn't get the response that you were hoping to get from the other person. It didn't feel good, and you remembered it. If you had asked for permission, it might have been a completely different story. Now, as a subset of asking for permission, this actually came up yesterday, and I want to address it. What happens when you ask for permission and the other person comes back and says, I'm not available, but I will be able to give you my full attention next week? Ooh, how does that feel? You don't feel important. You don't feel special, but it's all in your mind. It comes from a place of weakness as opposed to strength. Instead, if you turn it around, what did the other person say? You are important. You are special. I want to give you my undivided attention. I'm able to do it next week. Because they know if they give you their attention between now and next week, it's not going to be them fully present. It's them thinking about something else. It's them saying to themselves, I don't really have time for this right now. I can't show any emotion about how I feel because I'm wrapped up in this other thing that's going on. So when we take a step back and say to ourselves, okay, whatever it is that happened, whether it's bad or good, it's still going to be there. If it's an emergency, a building's on fire, God forbid, or something, that's a different story. Okay, we're not talking about catastrophic or emergencies like that. We're talking about everyday events that occur. So if it is an everyday event that occurs, or even a special event like getting a job, whatever it might be, asking for permission and getting the response helps you gauge the other person's interest level. Now, let's look at another scenario. You ask for permission, you see the person's in the middle of something, and they say, okay, yep, yeah, go ahead. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, got it. That's great. Okay, how do you feel then? Not too good, because they're not giving you their attention. That's what we need. We're craving their undivided attention, but in the moment, they're not available. But then we keep egging them on. We keep pushing them. You never hear from me. You don't listen to me. I'm trying to talk to you. And we totally fall apart because we cannot get ourselves under control. We cannot take a deep breath and say, okay, I respect this person. They have something going on. I'm going to be celebrating my joy of what just happened. I can celebrate it myself. And then when they're ready, they're not pushing me off. They're showing me respect by saying, hey, just not now, but I will. So I hope that helps you. We're going to take a look at the role play again, and let's see if anything comes up for you that you may not have noticed before, or maybe something is really resonating as a result of watching, discussing, and watching again.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe it? Can you believe I got the job? Christine. Hey, I got the job. Didn't I just tell you that I got... Remember when I auditioned last week? And when they were so amazed with me, and when they were like, hey, yeah, of course you're gonna get the job, and I got the job. Hey, will you listen to me? This is really important to me, okay? Hey, I'm just telling you that I got a really, really big job. I got my first huge engagement.
Okay, I'm stopping there now because there's a couple things that stood out to me right away, even though I've watched this over and over again. So Christine does turn around and gives a half turn with a look. You've seen that before, right? You come up to someone and you're talking and they give you that look like, hey, I'm busy. But we don't notice the body language. The body language is, first of all, Christine has her back. She's looking at the desk, but we see that she has her back there. So if you come up to someone from behind and you start talking about whatever it is you're talking about, first of all, you can't see their eyes. You can't see their expression to know if they're listening, interested, sleeping, whatever the case may be. You have to have that direct communication, eyes to eyes. So I would suggest when you ask for permission, be facing the other person. If you're on the phone, you can't see the person, ask for the permission initially in the conversation. Hello, Susan, how are you? Great. I'd like to have 10 or 15 minutes of your time to talk to you about something that's going on with me. How would that work for you right now? I'm actually in the middle of something, I can't, etc. So we want to be able to see the person's body language, or if it's, again, where you're not able to see them, ask for the permission up front immediately. Now, if they're giving you body language that shows that they're not available, for example, I'm reading a book and you're talking to me and I never look up, but okay, I'm not listening. Don't you want my full attention? That's where I want you to start to think about how you feel in your own body when it comes to listening skills and really being joyful about listening. Have some self-respect. Respect yourself enough that you don't necessarily need anyone's approval about whatever it is that you are thinking about or celebrating. When you come from that position of weakness, that's where feelings start to get hurt. That's where bad patterns start to develop. And that's where relationships end up breaking. And it all starts with something as simple as listening. So that's the asking for permission. I don't see any questions that anyone has. If you do have a question or a comment, please let me know. We're going to go on to the next part of our show, which is about judgment and judging. We do this all the time, all of us, including me. We've all done it. Someone else is sharing something. We're listening to them, and they say a word, a phrase, an event, a place, and we totally switch off. Just like that, we hear something and we switch off because we no longer are listening. We are now in our judging phase. And the judging phase is where we decide we know better than the other person. We know if vaccinations are great or they're not. We know if abortions are great or they're not. We know this president knows what he's doing or he doesn't. It can go on and on and on. And instead of being open to hearing what someone else's perspective is, we decide that we're judge and jury. And now what happens? We have people against people all over the world. There's climate change. There's no climate change. I mean, just think of the number of topics that people can be polar opposites at. And what happens is they just stand their ground and they are not going to hear any other perspectives because they are right. They know. Hey, good for you. How does it feel to be in that isolated world where you think you know everything and you're not open to listening to anything? That's where you're missing out. I am not judging anyone. I'm asking you to have some curiosity when it comes to listening to other perspectives. You don't have to agree with them, but it helps you grow as a person. It also helps you learn as a person. If you stay in your town, in your community, your entire life, and you never interact with anyone, whether it's through social media or if it's across a device like this, you're going to have less awareness of some of the things going on in other cultures, in other parts of the world, maybe even in your own community or state, because you've stayed in the same place. There's no judgment about that, but there's also very little curiosity, or possibly no curiosity. We're going to watch another one of the role plays. This one is about judgment. And again, it's a role play. It was directed by me. There are actors in this. And so please don't have any judgment about the role play. Thanks. We'll take a look.
Mary? Oh my God, it's forever. Hey! Oh my God, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm perfect. Just got my third vaccination.
Oh, really? You did that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's so bad for your health. Did you know what you do there? Oh, it's so bad. You can die of it. Do you know what's in there? You really trust it? Oh, my God, I would never trust that. I'm so healthy, I tell you. I never got this vaccination, and I had it, and it was no problem. It was really no problem for me. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're dying in 2 years.
Yeah, I don't care. I'd rather die of my vaccinations than from COVID.
You're going to die from this vaccination. I was at demonstrations, and I really heard things you never wanted to know. You never wanted to know what you did.
Okay, I'm stopping you right there because of the facial expressions. That was a great part to just segue. What is the most important thing? Is it to be right? Whether in this scenario, whether you believe in vaccinations or you don't, is your goal to ostracize yourself away from someone else so that you're right? Do you want to lose a friendship over it? I don't know. Maybe you do. But in the world that I live in, I don't judge people. People come on this platform all week long and they share their thoughts and their feelings. And I just listen because that's what I do. I'm the listening mentor. And I love to hear what people think and how they think. That doesn't mean I agree or I disagree. In this role play, we have one person who got vaccinated, runs into another person in a grocery store, and then is given a hard time. The first person's excited that she got vaccinated, and the second person's calling her out on it. What are you, insane? You could die. What right does she have to say that? What right do any of us have to say some of the things that we say? But yet we think we know. We know because we were told, because we read, because we did the research. Hey, good for you. Maybe the other person did the research, was told, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like in the world we live in today, we're so quick to judge other people because we have to be right, or something happened to someone in our family, or something happened to us, and now we are the judge and jury and authority on that case. But what makes life so fulfilling and enjoyable is variety. Is we have people from all over the world in different cultures. And I think that is so special and so exciting. I can't wait to learn more. That doesn't mean I'm going to practice everything that I learn. I'm going to embrace everything that I learn, but I'm curious and I want to learn. If we go back to this role play, we see that the two women are now in a confrontation. They're in a public place. I directed them to be in a store. They're in a store and now they're having an argument. Why do they have to have the argument at all? The first person announces, I just came from my vaccination. The second person doesn't like it. Okay, you don't have to say anything about it. Move on to another topic. Imagine you're involved in this confrontation in the store. It doesn't feel good for you or the other person. Other people are witnessing it, and now they are making judgments too. What's wrong with her? She doesn't like vaccinations. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So you and I, we have the power to change this and start right now by making a commitment to do your best not to judge what anyone's saying. You might be judging what I'm saying right now. You might be thinking to yourself, who does she think she is? I'm someone who really cares about helping other people. And I know that in order to be able to help someone, you have to be able to listen. And when you're judging what they're saying, you're not listening. You're not helping them, and you're not helping yourself. The next time you are in a conversation with someone, I want you to start looking at other people's behavior. You, of course, are interested in the education. That's why you're watching this, I would assume. So look at your own behavior and then be highly aware of how other people are reacting to you. Now, if you are in a situation like that role play that we just saw, should you call the other person out on it and say, hey, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Didn't you see the CDC report? Didn't you watch XYZ show? No. You're just escalating it. You're just throwing fuel into the fire. You're making it exacerbate to the point where now the two of you are probably going to walk away and may never speak to each other. When it happens, you can say very politely, I appreciate your opinion. Let's talk about something else. You don't have to say, I agree, I disagree. Just say something polite because you are in control of your emotions. It comes back to the same thing as asking for permission. When we are out of control, we start spiraling downhill. You've been there. I've been there. We hate ourselves. Later, we say to ourselves, why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't walk through that door, but it's like the bait was hanging out there and I just had to go and grab it. I'm telling you, you do not have to go and grab it. Be at peace with yourself. Really like yourself, respect yourself, and you will be so pleased at how little you need from someone else when it comes to self-esteem. You will care for yourself. You will love yourself. You will have pride in yourself. It all starts with self-respect and with listening without judging, asking for permission, looking at body language, being aware of your surroundings, understanding that because something seems so important at that moment, in 10 minutes, in an hour, in 2 hours, when other things happen, it might not be that important. Don't jeopardize a relationship, a friendship, a business partner, a loved one by acting out of control because you need immediate attention and gratification. If it's a situation where it's your mental health and you feel yourself spiraling out of control, please get help. That's a different scenario. Please seek professional help and ask someone to work with you. I thank you for your attention today. I really do appreciate it. I would love if you would continue watching my episodes here on the Listening Mentor, as well as my Talking Heads episodes. You can find all of our shows. We currently have 29 shows on usaglobaltv.com. Our YouTube channel is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I thank you for your attention. If you would like to learn how to listen at an elevated level, I invite you, I encourage you to take The Power of Listening. It's a 2-hour course and it's self-paced. You can actually sign up for it today. It's $257. I'm offering it for $30 as of today for the rest of the day. You can go over to either of my websites, drjacalyn.com. You can also go over to usaglobaltv.com and you can sign up there. Here is the link. It's drjacalyn.thinkific.com. And today's code, this says listen, but the code for today for the $30 course is partner, capital PARTNER. I look forward to seeing you on the other side with the joy of listening. Bye.